Let's go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our first edition of our group coaching. I'm Dr. Heather Quayle. Welcome to the Show Center. We have an amazing team-centered approach where we're going to be offering 2 sessions a month where Carissa, our RN for the office, will be doing things around nutrition and all the things that we talk to you about during your weight loss visits, things we talk about in the hormone visits. And Alyssa, our doctor of exercise science, will be doing things around body composition and protein and all the parts and pieces with this. So we're really excited that you're here with us. And without further ado, I am going to change seats with Carissa. And today she is going to talk to you about nutrition for hormone balance.
Okay. Hi, everyone, and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to be talking about nutrition for hormone balance, specifically during perimenopause and menopause. This session is designed to be practical, realistic, and rooted in science so you can actually walk away knowing exactly what to do and how to apply it. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to start with protein, why it's so important, and how much you actually need. Then we'll talk about fiber and how it supports estrogen metabolism. From there, we'll move into blood sugar stability. This is one of the biggest game changers for symptoms. And then we will also cover meal timing, which is often overlooked, but can be incredibly powerful. Finally, I'll show you some tools and resources to help you put all of this into action. Before we dive in, let's take a step back. So hormones, and what are they? They are chemical messengers that regulate almost everything in your body, your energy, your mood, your metabolism, your sleep, and more. During perimenopause and menopause, estrogen and progesterone begin to decline. As that happens, your body becomes more sensitive to nutritional signals. What that means is what you eat has a direct impact on how your hormones function. The good news is that nutrition is something we can control, and small changes here can make a big difference in how you feel. So, optimal protein targets for women. Let's start with protein. As estrogen declines, one of the biggest changes we see is a loss of muscle mass. This process is called sarcopenia. At the same time, metabolism slows and it becomes easier to gain fat, especially around the abdomen. Protein is one of the most powerful tools we have to counteract this. It helps preserve muscle, it supports metabolism, it improves blood sugar control, and it keeps you feeling full and energized. So, how do you know if you're not getting enough protein? Some common signs include feeling tired even when you're sleeping enough, craving sugar or carbs, you have difficulty losing weight, loss of muscle tone, slow recovery after workouts, mood swings or trouble focusing. And the reality is, most women are under eating protein, even if we think we're doing okay. So let's talk numbers. At a minimum, you want 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Just in case anybody doesn't know, for every 1 pound you multiply your weight in pounds by no, you don't. You divide it by 2.2 to get your weight in kilograms. So optimally closer to 1.6 per kilo, especially if your goal is to maintain muscle and support that metabolism. Another key target is about 30 grams of protein per meal. Ideally, you're spreading protein across about 3 to 4 meals per day. Most women are only getting around 50 to 60 grams total per day, which is often about half of what's actually needed. Some of the best protein sources include fatty fish like salmon, which also provide anti-inflammatory omega-3s, eggs, which are rich in nutrients that support liver function and hormone detox, legumes, which give you both protein and fiber, Greek yogurt, which also helps support gut health. And the goal is to focus on whole nutrient-dense sources whenever possible. So next, we're going to talk about fiber and estrogen metabolism. So let's talk about fiber. Your gut plays a major role in hormone health, especially through something called the estrobiome. This is a group of bacteria that helps process and eliminate estrogen in the body. When fiber intake is low, estrogen can actually be reabsorbed instead of eliminated, and that can contribute to symptoms like bloating, mood swings, and hormonal imbalance. So, fiber is essential for proper hormone detoxification. There are two main types of fiber, and both are important. Soluble fiber helps bind to excess estrogen and remove it from the body. It also helps stabilize blood sugar. Insoluble fiber helps move things around the digestive system more quickly, which reduces the chance of estrogen being reabsorbed. So, we really kind of want a combination of both of those in our diet. In terms of how much you need, the goal is about 25 to 35 grams of fiber per day. Most women are getting closer to 12 to 15 grams. So again, about half, which is a major gap, but also a large opportunity for most of us. So flaxseed can be considered a hormone superfood. It's a very simple way to boost fiber and support our hormones. Flaxseed contains different compounds which act as gentle phytoestrogens. They can help balance estrogen levels, whether they're too high or too low. Excuse me. The recommendation is about 1 to 2 tablespoons per day, ideally ground for better absorption. You can easily add this to smoothies, oatmeal, yogurt, or even to salads. So, stable blood sugar. This is one of the most impactful areas. When your blood sugar spikes, your body releases insulin. Over time, those frequent spikes can disrupt hormone balance and increase the inflammation and worsen all of our symptoms. This can show up as fatigue, brain fog, weight gain, mood swings, and even more intense hot flashes. So, stabilizing our blood sugar is also another powerful thing that we can do. So here are some of these simple strategies that can make a pretty big difference. First, we want to build a balanced plate. We want to include protein, healthy fats, and fiber-rich carbohydrates. Second, we want to eat our vegetables first before moving on to starches, which can help reduce those glucose spikes. Third, avoid eating carbs on their own. Always pair them with protein, fat, or fiber. And finally, move your body after meals, even a 10 to 15-minute walk, which can help regulate our blood sugar. Some of the best foods for blood sugar stability include non-starchy vegetables like leafy greens and broccoli, whole grains like oats and quinoa, healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, nuts, and seeds, and even spices like cinnamon, turmeric, and those can also help add additional support. So we're going to think of these more as our foundation foods. Meal timing and metabolic rhythm. So let's talk about when you should eat. Your body operates on what is called a circadian rhythm, an internal clock that affects metabolism and hormones. Insulin sensitivity is highest in the morning and lowest at night. So when you actually eat can influence how your body processes food. Some simple strategies include eating within 1 to 2 hours of waking, ideally a protein-rich meal, making lunch your largest meal of the day, keeping dinner lighter and finishing about 2 to 3 hours before bed, and then aiming for about a 12-hour overnight fasting window, for example, 7 a to 7 p. So that last thing that you eat should be around 7 o'clock in the evening, so that as soon as you wake up around 6 or 7 in the morning, you've given your body time to rest and digest. While intermittent fasting is popular, longer fasting windows can sometimes backfire for women in this stage of life. It can increase cortisol, disrupt sleep, and contribute to muscle loss. A more supportive approach is consistent meals and a gentle 12-hour overnight fast. So again, paying attention to that meal right before bed, and again, the first meal that we eat in the morning. So Wellness Vault resources. To help all of you apply all of this, we've created a hormone-friendly meal guide. This includes meal ideas, sample plans, grocery lists, and tips to make this a more practical and sustainable transition. The goal is to take the guesswork out of it for you. Another powerful tool is a continuous glucose monitor or a CGM. This is just one of those things that you can kind of look into on your own and see if this is something that fits, that would be helpful for you and your lifestyle. So it will allow you to see in real time how your body's responding to different foods, the timing, stress, and sleep. It's a great way to kind of personalize your own approach because really and truly no two people kind of respond exactly the same. What can you learn from a CGM? So if we simplify everything we talked about, here's your kind of a daily blueprint. You'll start your day with protein. You're going to focus on fiber, especially at lunch. We're going to eat balanced meals, stop eating in a few hours before bed, move our body after meals. And then the small habits done consistently can create a powerful impact over time. So using a CGM, as you can see, all these different sections here, your personal food responses, your meal timing, it can help you track all of those things. Again, putting it all together, morning protein, eating protein within the hour of waking. Again, the fiber first with lunch. We're going to start with our vegetables and our fiber-rich foods. We're going to move over here to a post-meal movement. So we're going to walk or move around 10 to 15 minutes after we're eating. At nighttime for our evening meal, we're going to finish balanced meal 2 to 3 hours before bed, and then that's going to give us that 12-hour fasting window for the most part. Another thing aside from a CGM is if anybody has an Aura Ring or their Apple Watch, both of those can also help track a lot of this. It's not as specific as the CGM because the CGM typically it's one of those kind of like it's the blood glucose monitor. So you wear it and it attaches to the back of your skin and your arm. So it's kind of getting a read from your blood, whereas the Aura Ring and Apple Watch are doing it more from a topical standpoint. So the Aura Ring, both of them give your heart rate variability. They both look at your sleep. It'll tell you kind of, mine goes off all the time and tells me like now it's time to start winding down. There's just a lot of different information and a lot of things that when you're in the apps and you're looking, it does a lot of tracking for you, taking the guesswork out. It attaches articles to it so that you can read more about why it's tracking those things, how to help yourself. I've been a little bit obsessed with mine because it really does give a lot of good information. So just food for thought. So some key takeaways from today's session. Obviously, protein is your top priority for the metabolism and muscle building. Our fiber, that's going to help our body clear those excess hormones. The blood sugar stability can dramatically reduce some of these symptoms that we start feeling in perimenopause, the bloating, the mood swings. And then meal timing matters just as much as what we eat. So you don't necessarily have to do everything perfectly, but like we said, we can make small, consistent changes along the way. All right, so we're going to leave you with this. This stage of life can feel very challenging, but it can also be an opportunity to build a stronger, healthier foundation. So you don't have to navigate it alone. We're always here, and you have more control than you might think. So thank you guys so much again for being here today, and let us know if you have any questions.